walking tour, nothing bad to endure. Walking tour, in t-shirt or couture. Walking tour, enjoy the soup du jour. Walking tour, walking tour, walking tour, walking tour, walking tour. Only joy you will procure on my walking tour. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Well, welcome one, welcome all to a pre-COVID-19 Europe. The tourists are still out on the streets, the restaurants are still heaving, and the canals of Venice are still absolutely filthy. It's a pleasure to have you here. To ask the first opening question, who here likes to tour? Who likes Europe? Who likes to walk? Well, there won't be any walking. Not on this tour. I'm sorry if any of you thought this was an actual walking tour. On some level, you may be disappointed. However, feel free to, on your couches, wherever you are, take steps akin to this, just to get the feel of it all. Not only will you get the feel of it, but you also get your steps up on your Fitbit. And avoid deep vein thrombosis. So there's plenty of pluses there. It is a pleasure to have you all in. For those of you who've just come along on the tour who didn't see the intro earlier, do feel free to wave your hands to indicate laughter, because I can't hear like I can usually on the tour. Or I may ask occasionally a question or two. Feel free to put a hand up if you want to get involved. Grand. It's lovely to have you all here. So this is my first tour for Use Tours. The tour for yous all to enjoy. Put a little bit of work into that one. And some of you will be wondering, Andrew, what sort of qualifications do you have to run a tour of this nature around all of Europe? Well, fret not, my friends. I once, in 2006, travelled all around Europe as a backpacker for 2 whole weeks. And not only that, Europe is the continent on which I spend the most time whilst playing Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego. It's one of my favourites. So just, to get a feel for you all, who here has been to Europe before? Maybe just put a hand up or something. Let's see what I can see. Yeah, quite a few of you. I'm going to put this to gallery view so I can see so many more of you. Perfecto. Excellent. Good stuff. All right, that's pretty much everybody. Great. All right. Has anyone been to Europe more than once, perhaps? Put your hands up. Right, that's everybody again. Okay, good. Has anyone ever lived in Europe right, that is quite a few of you. Okay, well, there's no need to show off, guys. I mean, we've all travelled, all right? Anywho, let's get going. Oh, but before we go, I should read out the comprehensive travel insurance from Use Tours, for those of you who signed up for it. The comprehensive travel insurance policy is comprehensive in all but the following circumstances. Fire, flood, infection from kissing a statue or monument, incarceration, deep vein thrombosis, kidnapping by people smugglers, kidnapping by people snugglers, being burned as a witch in medieval Scotland, destroying priceless works of art, sulfur overdose, any injury sustained whilst taking part in a high-speed police chase or People's Revolution, as if any of this could possibly happen, guys. The exemptions do go on for a bit, so I mean, that's why they call it comprehensive, obviously. You can go through it all in our convenient 48 gigabyte download. Excellent stuff. So let's kick off. Who's ready to go to Europe? Excellent. Let's start in England, which is sort of Europe. But guys, how far? And indeed, carbon neutral was that. No carbon footprint whatsoever. No footprint whatsoever. Just a little seated walking to a joke for you there. I'm also where some of you are already in England, so this is perfect. You can really get the feel of it. Now, of course, the UK, I think it's technically out of the EU now, but there's a lot of details to be worked out, so who knows? Now, of course, when you're on a tour like this, you need to get used to everybody who's here, get a feel for the place. But first, let's have a little look at England. England, home to the Queen, the Wombles, home to the Great Fire of London in 1666. If you were here in 1666, you'd be on fire. Ah! England, of course, is also home to accents such as, "Hello, governor. Oh, apples and pears. Me son's a boot black, and he's got scurvy." And just a quick note on accents. There will be some stereotyping in this show. Stereotyping. Racism's less offensive little brother. Now, we will be traveling through various European countries such as Germany. Ja, das ist sehr gut, ja. France, bonjour, où est le bidet? Austria, hasta la vista, baby. And of course, Croatia. Hello, I'm from Croatia. The thing about accents such as this is they're mainly from historically white countries that have often historically been colonial, so you can still do them whilst being PC. Excellent? Excellent. All right. So here we are, my friends, at Piccadilly Circus. And I know what you're thinking. Worst circus ever. And you'd be right. But this is a great spot to hop on our tour bus. And here it comes now. Our tour bus is the Leica Putt-Putt. It's a classic Czech people mover from the 1950s. And Leica Putt-Putt, being from a Soviet Czechoslovakia, has some amazing safety features. Firstly, instead of airbags, there's actually sandbags that can be deployed in case of local flooding or small European conflicts. Not only that, I've actually removed the seatbelts from the Leica Putt-Putt because Czech seatbelts of the 1950s are made out of wire, and garottings could occur at even the mildest traffic stops. But it does have one additional fantastic feature, and that is the very first prototype of a self-driving car. That is a Soviet scientist's brain in a jar. Hello, Dmitry. It's a pleasure to meet you, Dmitry. Good stuff. And so now, my friends, that you're all here together, they're all here, let's get to know some of you. Of course, the sort of age you are often dictates the sort of crowd you're going to be on a bus. And this is the point where I actually need to hear from some of you. So I'm going to put in my little headphone, Quel Modern. Now, let's have a look at the screen here. The first people I need are Merle and Beverly. They're a little older. I can see... Merle and Beverly, let's see, Richard Payne. How do you feel about being Merle and your partner there, or friend, being Beverly? Excellent. Richard Payne, what a pleasure it is to have you. You guys are now Merle and Beverly. Let's see if I can hear you. Not yet. You'll be unmuted soon. Oh, you may have to unmute yourself on your screen there. Can you see it? Can you see it? Excellent. Oh, glorious.
Hello,
Richard, say something. See if I can... Oh, I can hear you. Hello. Yes, I'm very well. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
It's superb. It's a pleasure to meet you, Mel and Beverly. You are our oldest travellers, according to what I have written here. You would like to see the frescoes of Rome, and also because Mel is dying. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Mel. We'll make it a great trip for you, though, mate. Oh, hang on. No, you are dying to see the Toblerone factory. Okay, that's sorted that one out. Good, good. Now, you are travelling in a group. The group is everybody over 60 who is in the chat. And that group is the Warrnambool Senior Citizens Cultural Society. Pleasure to have all of you here. Warrnambool Senior Cits. I love Warrnambool, lovely town. Old school whaling town. Good. Okay, should have written something for that. Now, of course, Beverly, sitting there with Mel, on your travels, there's something you've always loved to collect as a souvenir. What souvenir would you like to collect on your travels?
Costumes.
Costumes, how perfect. National costumes, I imagine. Oh, see how many dirndls we can get our hands on. Delightful.
Very good.
Or perhaps something from one of those folk religious rituals in Spain or something where it's just giant hair suits. Frightening. The Nordics do that as well. Well, lovely to meet you, Mel and Beverly. Thank you. All right. Let's move on now. We're looking for perhaps someone. I can only see one page here. I'm going to move on to people. Somebody, put your hand up if you'd like to be in this. Oh, I can see someone. Bethany, my dear friend Bethany, you're in the show. Hurrah, Bethany. Now, Bethany, you are Amira. You are a novice nun who's come along on the tour to see Europe. So, pleasure to have you here. Excellent. How are you, Amira?
I'm well, thank you, Andrew.
I'm so glad to hear it. What a very nunly voice you have. Very calm, soothing, like a delicious lozenge. Now, let's see here. What does it say? You're here to assist the Vermont Vertigo Sufferers Support Network. And everybody under the age of 60 and over 40 is part of the Vertigo Sufferers. Welcome, all of you. Just a basic question there, Amira. Who is your favourite saint, real or imagined? Just name a name.
Do I have to have a favourite? Let's say St. Patrick.
No, actually, you can pretty much just choose any classic Western name at this point and they'll be a saint.
St. Patrick.
Except Tyler. I don't think there's a St. St. Patrick, an absolute classic. Chase the snakes out of Ireland, although we suspect there may never have been snakes there anyway. Excellent.
Patron saint of green beer.
Patron saint of green beer, you're absolutely right. Thank you very much, Amira. And we may be testing some of those delicious frothies on the tour. All right, next I am looking for Ms. Cardamon. Let's just have a little look here, Ms. Cardamon. Okay. All right, Emma Heaney, you up for a little something? You're a performer. You have just blushed and put your hands to your face. Emma Heaney,
do it.
Is that a definite no? Because I need you. I can't hear you, so I don't know what you're saying. All right.
Oh, there we go.
Emma,
is that better?
Emma, you in?
I'm in.
Perfect.
Right.
All right, Emma, you are Ms. Cardamon. Now, you have written here on your list, I am a legitimate businesswoman / art collector, here to case Europe's greatest paintings and treasures and slip anonymously out of the continent. And it says here that you want to be incognito, and I've got great news for you. We'll be passing through Cognito in northern Italy next week. Good stuff. Now, Ms. Cardamon, if you could acquire any famous piece of art in all the world, what piece of art might you like to acquire? Anything at all?
You're putting me on the spot here, Andy.
Just name any painting. Mona Lisa is fine if you want to go with the classics. Oh, Mona Lisa, an absolute classic!
Did we just jinx each other? Great.
Well, of course, it is the cliche, but then I gave you the idea. So
thank you.
Blame myself.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Ms. Cardamon. By the way, I should point out to everyone who I've given these roles to, you really don't have to do much at all in this show. I'll just be referring to you later briefly. You're all delightful. All right, we need one more couple because, of course, we have Spiro and Lucy played by Dan and Asher. I think Dan and Asher. Of course, Spiro and Lucy. Asher Holmes, as it says there. Hello, Dan and Asher. Well, it's an absolute pleasure to have you in. You guys are from the Gladstone Mudcrabs Football and Netball Club. And you are here for your end-of-season trip. There's your logo there. Very scary. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Yeah, go Crabs.
Go Crabs.
Yeah, go. And in fact, everybody who is under 40 is part of the Gladstone Mud Crabs. Let's hear you all. Mud Crabs, Mud Crabs, Mud Crabs, Mud Crabs, Mud Crabs. I'm so glad you're all doing the Mud Crab sign. That's great. That's brilliant. All right. So the Mud Crabs, you have written here that you are here to drink Europe dry, pash every Swede, and to, is there anything else you'd like to do on the tour? Wild?
Just sink more piss.
Yeah, Yes, sink more piss. What a delightfully Australian response. Thank you so much, Minecraft. Minecraft. Your enthusiasm is superb. Glorious. I can't recall if I pointed out everybody who's between 40 and 60 is with the Vermont Vertigo Sufferers Support Network. So don't attempt to stand up quickly at any point. So. All right, good. I think that covers everybody. We'll just be referring back to you very occasionally during the rest of the tour. Let's get started, shall we, everybody? Let's get going. All right. So, we'll get onto the bus and, oh, hang on a second. All right. All right, this is Regal Tours. They're in the way of our bus. We can't get going while they're in the way. Regal Tours are, of course, our rival tour company. They are the all-luxury, all-the-time tour option. Their tour guide is Chanel Claremont. We actually both auditioned for the same job. Interviewed. That's what it's called when it's a job. We interviewed for the same job. And Chanel only got the role over me because she can speak 5 European languages and happened to know that Brussels was in Belgium, which it turns out is easy to know if your dad was ambassador to the EU. They'll be driving off in their bus that converts into a hovercraft momentarily. In fact, let's just boo them briefly, everybody. Boo! Boo, rivals, boo! Thank you everyone for your support. All right, well, I've moved out of the way, so let's get going. Let's head north to the beautiful country of Scotland. Hurrah! Glorious it is. Beautiful Scotland. Oh yes. Sorry, it took us 5 days to get there, everybody. Obviously, 4 days spent circling the Chiswick roundabout was hell on everybody, especially the Vermont Vertigo sufferers. Dimitri is sorry. But here we are in beautiful Edinburgh, a city worth walking 500 miles to, and then an additional subsequent 500 miles. Now, of course, my name, Andrew McClelland, is nominally Scottish, but I wouldn't call myself Scottish. I'm Scottish so many generations ago. I very much consider myself Australian. The only thing is that I'm Scottish enough that if I was American, I could say that I was Scottish, as they do, you know, with the whole, yeah, I'm Irish, yeah. Well, they love to do that, don't they? But here we are at Castle Hill. We have lost to time why this hill on top of a castle is called Castle Hill. Perhaps it's an old Celtic word meaning castle on a hill or some such. And this castle at the top of the Royal Mile, on the top of the hill, was first built in the 11th century by King Malcolm, who is, of course, famous for killing Macbeth in the William Shakespeare play Hamlet. So we take a bit of a closer look at the castle here. The castle entrance is flanked by 2 statues. On the left, we have Robert the Bruce, and on the right, William Wallace, also known as Braveheart. And if we take a bit of a closer look at Braveheart here, we see that his face has been helpfully blurred out. Google do that to humans' faces, but also obviously occasionally to statues as well, because they care about your security. In fact, Google care about your security so much they even blurred out the face of the big prawn in Ballina. Yes. Because, you know, obviously, oh no, now my wife will know I went to Bunnings and got the sausage sizzle. Oh, I'm so embarrassed. Now, although this is a statue of Braveheart, William Wallace, it's not the biggest statue of William Wallace. The biggest and perhaps most horrifying statue is at the site of his military victory, Stirling, which is this statue here. 11 foot tall, not so much a statue of William Wallace as one of Mel Gibson. And in fact, the local people found this so embarrassing to them that they tried to give it to the local Trump golf course for free, and the Trump golf course rejected it on the grounds that it was tasteless. Whoo, that is tasteless. They'll never take my sandstone. Nice one, improvised. All right, so let's turn away from the castle now and head down the hill to the Royal Mile. Obviously, they're setting up for the tattoo there in Edinburgh. What through there? And all the bleachers are gone, as if I'm some sort of witchy man. And as we head down the Royal Mile here, firstly, speaking of witches, on the left here, it's quite small, but you can see it if you zoom in we have the monument to the executed witches. You see, Edinburgh used to love burning witches. Between the 16th and the 18th centuries, they burned no less than 4,000 witch men and women together. I suppose the lesson there is that the Scots will deep fry anything. But I do actually happen to have here just the original test that was done to try to determine whether someone was a witch or not. And I will just I'll find one more person here, just a bit of fun, administer the test, see if someone's a witch. So let's see, I normally like to pick a quite confident fellow for this. Ian, who I can see is sitting with Jordan Bell. Ian, would you be willing to take the witch test to see if you're a witch? You'll have to unmute. Thank you. Carrie, have you found Jordan Bell? Not yet. Okay. Ian is quite close. You've got it. Excellent.
Did I get him?
Ian, are you there?
I am indeed here.
Excellent. It's lovely to hear from you. All right. Now, we've got to find out if you're a witch or not. Imagine it's medieval times and you're wearing a kilt and such. All right. So,
What a coincidence.
Ian, have you ever stared at a cow and it died?
No.
No? Okay. Well, that's good. That's good. Have you ever used a natural medical remedy?
Yes.
No? Okay. Well, that's a little witchy. All right. Have you ever had a small bit of land on a much larger patch of land that a lord or baron wanted to acquire?
Yes.
Yeah, well, that is a very common way of being a witch, to be honest. All right. And do you have unnaturally pretty eyes? Let's see what I can see from here. Glasses off. Let's look at those eyes. Oh, superb. Oh, mwah. Well, that confirms it. You are definitely a witch and you must be burned. So it's time to burn the witch. Everybody get involved. Burn the witch. Burn the witch. Burn the witch. Oh, you're wonderful. You're wonderful. All right. Now, it's time for you to get burned. Here I go. Nice shirt, Ian. Where did you get it? The Dickhead Factory. Oh, Dick burn, yeah. Thank you. You took that very well, Ian. Very well indeed. For someone with a shit shirt, yeah, woo, you go burn. You're such a sport. Please, everybody, put your hands up for Ian and Jordan, who he's with. Glorious. Excellent stuff. All right. Now that we've burned the witch, let's head down the Royal Mile. Let's turn back. Here we go. Down here on the left, of course, is the Camera Obscura, home to Scottish optical illusions. Enjoy the fun mirrors as they warp your body and reflection and fat shame you as you pass. And now we head on down on the right here. We can see the St. Tolbooth's Church. St. Tolbooth is, of course, patron saint of public-private partnership roads that cost far too much and would have been better served by public transport. Now, this area is the grass market, and we can see in the middle of the square here, this little knob in the middle of the road. That knob is all that remains of the buttertron. Now, a tron is just an old word for a weighing machine. That one weighed butter. But the buttertron had to be scrapped when it became a self-aware robot, stalking the land, grabbing hold of cows and squeezing them to get the buttery goodness from inside, like so much custard out of a well-filled Danish. Oh, the evil buttertron. But that spot there has a bus stop, which is also where about 10 years ago, whilst performing the Edinburgh Festival at about 2 a.m. in the morning, I was robbed at knife point by a young Scottish gadabout / junkie. You know, kind enough fellow. He was sort of coming towards me, and my bus arrived at the very moment that he sort of pulled out his knife. And, you know, he was like, give me your wallet or I'll stab you. And I said, well, I think I'd rather get on the bus. And so I got on the bus and just rode off, and he waited there, somewhat startled. Obviously, that story makes me seem like I might be very tough. I'm not very tough. I'm not very brave. You could rob me with a slice of cake if it was sharp enough. But I had 2 aces up my sleeve. Firstly, he was robbing me in a thick Scottish accent, so I had no idea what he was saying. And secondly, I was a little bit boozed, and I really had no idea what was going on, which brings us to the moral of the story. Booze is your dear friend, a moral the Scots have, of course, taken to heart. Speaking of which, if we turn to the left here, we have the Ensign of Ewart Tavern, first built in 1680. And what's that, mud crabs? You want to go for a little drink? Oh, I suppose we could get a quick pint in. It'll have to be quick, though, because we have a lot more to see in Edinburgh. So let's pop in and have ourselves a drinky-o. Yay! Damn! Oh, God. God, you all went wild last night. All right, I've spoken to the authorities. They have told us that we have to make a swift Brexit and get out of here. But, guys, I'm somewhat disappointed in all of you, to be honest. I mean, like you mud crabs, you ran on stage during the performance of Train Spotting, the contemporary dance experience, and Dax, the principal dancer. No wonder we're in trouble. And you nuns, when you got drunk, you went absolutely wild. I see you attempting to baptize the statue of Protestant reformer John Knox back into the Catholic Church. You can't baptize a statue no matter how drunk you are. No. Not even Greyfriars, Bobby. Absolutely. All right, guys, we've got to make a quick exit. Let's get on the bus, cross the channel, and head over to France. All right, bonjour, bienvenue, and welcome to Paris, everybody. Sorry, it took another 3 days to get across. Obviously, that tainted salmon we ate in Calais got a lot of us in a bit of stomach trouble. We will not be returning to Lucky Pierre's seafood, boulangerie, and pool cleaning anytime soon. But here we are in Paris. Now, we're looking at the Seine. There, in the middle of the Seine there, you can see that is the Île de la Cité. That's French for island of the city. And 2 millennia ago, that island was Paris. There was a small Gallic fishing village on the island. And then after a little while, the Romans came along, as we all know from the Chronicles of Asterix. After that, the Franks came along, which is where the name of the country Frank comes from. Then after some time, there was the French Revolution, then Napoleon, and a couple of wars, and then today. And that's French history for you. So let's pop over to the Île de la Cité and take a look. Obviously, one of its biggest features is the Notre Dame. Some of you may have heard a rumour that the Notre Dame actually burnt down last year. But that is yet to be reflected on Google Street View. So I shall take the millennial defense here. If it hasn't happened on Google, it hasn't happened. Excellent. First, construction began on this in 1189, and it took 118 years to complete, even though the tradie said it would be done by June. If we have a look around here, it's frequented by tourists, the religious, and also bizarre half people. You may have heard of centaurs. This is a bintor, half bin, half person. But, don't fall for these people. These are actually just beggars pretending to be half bins so that they can get your sympathy and get your money. So just ignore them, everybody. Let's head over into the Notre Dame now. And, oh, damn! Oh, all right, it seems we can't head into the Notre Dame because Regal Tours have booked out all that's left of it for a screening of the Da Vinci Code hosted by Tom Hanks. All right, fine. Well, don't worry, guys. There's other things to see in Paris. But let's boo them first. Boo! Yes, thank you, everyone. All right, we turn to the right here. That's a statue of Charlemagne, supposedly the founder of Europe, of the Holy Roman Empire and all that. He's one of the Charlemagne attractions. All right, improvise that. Thank you. And if we turn to the left here, even more interesting than Charlemagne is over here, down here behind this fella, these public toilets. These are honestly meant to be the best public toilets in all Europe. Seriously, should read the TripAdvisor. People have written stuff like, oh, best shitter in all of Western Europe. I'll take Manan here for her birthday. Isn't it wonderful that we've democratized travel writing? Huh? So now we turn back and head across the bridge here, head across the Seine, and oh no, we've fallen in the river. I mean, we've gone into the, we've We've gone insane. Oh, fuck that up. All right, don't worry. Forget it, guys. We head up the left bank. The left bank is, of course, home to no less than 250 used booksellers. And if you're an eagle-eyed purchaser, you could pick up an absolute bargain, such as a first edition Camus or a 1960 Melways. And now we head down the left bank here, just a little ways, and we come to the Place Saint-Michel. This is the very heart of the left bank. It's home to poets, artists, lefties, revolutionaries. This is where the Les Miserables of Les Miserables were at their most miserable. And because of that, they had a lot of revolutions, actually. They had one in 1830, another in 1848, then in 1854, another in 1871, then in 1945 against those naughty Nazis. Then naughty's not strong enough a word, actually. Then in 1968, of course, the student revolution's there. And if you look here, you can see that their barricade is actually made of cobblestones. Traditionally, they made so many barricades of cobblestones. After 1968, the cops got wise and they put down big granite flagstones because it's hard to throw a granite slab at a cop. And since then, there haven't really been any barricades there. But we're not so much interested in the granite flagstones. If we take a little look down here, we'll see what's beyond them. This manhole cover here. Now that manhole cover is not an entrance to the sewers. It is in fact an entrance to the catacombs underneath Paris. And turns out Dimitri knows them rather well. So let's head down for a little tour of under Paris. Here we are. Ooh, it's good, isn't it? We'll take a left here. Avoid that skull, obviously. Just head around this corner. Pretty dark. I don't know how many of these slides I put in. Okay, and hopefully we'll come out soon. And we emerge at the Père Lachaise Cemetery, possibly the most famous cemetery in the world because it's chock full of dead celebrities. But it wasn't always that way. In the late 18th century, when this cemetery first opened, only 13 people were buried there in the first year. So what do you do if you want to get a new business up and running properly? You get a celebrity endorsement. The people who ran the cemetery dug up the poet Jean de La Fontaine and the playwright Molière, who were very much the Taylor Swift and Drake of their day, respectively. And then they buried them here. And suddenly, everyone who was anyone wanted to be buried at the Père Lachaise. And there is many a celebrity here. For example, Chopin had his last movement here. Edith Piaf has no regrettery ends about being here. Marcel Proust is proud to be here. Honoré de Balzac went balls up and is honoured to be here. Jim Morrison had the door closed on him here, and Oscar is wild about the place. But these are not my favourite graves. My favourite grave at the Père Lachaise is that of Victor Noir. Victor Noir was a young French revolutionary who was murdered by the state on the way to his wedding. And ever since that tragic event, there's been, I suppose, a myth or possibly a truth that if you kiss the grave of Victor Noir, you'll become either pregnant or married within the year, whichever you desire. And as you can see, Victor Noir is a big fan of being here. That's it's a very well-kissed grave there, and well-kissed in all sorts of places. So glorious little grave. Anyway, my friends, we have now seen everything that there is to see in Paris. I don't think there's any other tourist attractions. So let's split! Here we are, my friends, in Split, Croatia, the capital of Dalmatia, population 101. You may know Split as Quarth or the Red Keep in the Game of Thrones. You also may know it as a key ingredient in banana splits. What did infinitives do before split? Hey, all right, I like it. Now, one of the main tourist attractions in Split is, of course, is it coming up? Oh, it's, okay, that hasn't come up. Don't worry, it's, the image has corrupted. Doesn't matter. This is Diocletian's palace here in Croatia, built in, this one is 307 AD. And I mean, the thing about Roman ruins, guys, is they are ruined. So don't expect too much out of them. But this was the triclinium originally. Romans, you'd of course know from the Chronicles of Asterix. Yes. I know I meant to do that joke twice. I thought it might be funny as a callback, but now I realize it just seems like I forgot it and did it twice. Whatever. A peek behind the comedian's curtain. So yeah, this is where Romans had their orgies. Roman orgies, of course, were not sex orgies. They were food orgies, although perhaps sex as well. Sexy food orgies. Good. All right. Perfect. Now, just behind here, we won't really see it, but there was a vomitorium there. Some of you may be thinking the vomitorium is a room that Romans would go to during their orgy to tickle their throat with a feather and vomit up all the food so they could just keep eating. That is a myth, my friends. A vomitorium is just an aisle, a walkway that people would walk down. The Latin for exit is vomit. Please do not vomit during my show, but we will head down the vomitorium here. Of course, fuck de pigs is Croat for welcome to our beautiful gift shop. And we'll pass through the gift shop out onto the Obala Hrvatsog Preparodnog Nervodja, which is the name of the street and also took proportionally longer to learn than any other part of the show. Now if we head down here, we get to the end. This is Marmont Square, named after the Napoleonic general Marmont, the inventor of Marmite. He's, of course, friends with the General Vegemont de Vegemite and great rival to the Earl of Nutella. There was meant to be, and in fact was, a big statue of General Marmont here, but it was removed at some point. So I don't know why my guy bothered to tell me, but I did put my own statue of a general in just to make it better. That's that one there. Excellent, excellent. And now we head down this little street here because if we turn to our right, this building here is the famous Dalmatian sulphur baths, the split sulphur baths. Now, these sulphur baths have been running for 17 centuries. Locals have been using them that entire time. Of course, the sulphurous, slightly eggy smell and water has been said to have all sorts of medicinal properties. Supposedly it could cure anything from being too clean to not smelling enough like eggs. So what do you say we all take a dip, eh, gang? Let's get in. Last one in's a rotten egg, although the first one in will be as well. Hooray! Damn! All right, guys. Once you've all finished discharging yourselves, we can go on. Frankly, I'm a little disappointed in all of you. I mean, you mud crabs, your monarch of the sauna endurance competition was just dangerous. You all look like roasted radishes. I mean, I had to spend all my money on sports drinks to get electrolytes back into you. Completely lost our incidentals budget. And you senior citizens, you were drinking so much sulfur water. It doesn't cure old age, you know. Your guts must be like Rotorua. Anyway, guys, let's get back on the bus, head across the Adriatic to Rome. Damn! Oh, all right. Obviously, that ferry ride was a lot longer than we thought it would be. Yes, it's all right, Dimitri. We forgive you. Fret not. But here we are at Blarney Castle. Of course, Blarney Castle is famous for its Blarney Stone. And the Blarney Stone is up here in the castle tower. And supposedly, if you kiss the Blarney Stone, you will gain the power of eloquent speech. And this is how you kiss it. So this task is possibly not for the vertigo sufferers. But I would like to, as a final interaction, have one of you kiss the Blarney Stone. So I need a likely volunteer. Perhaps put your hand up. I'll have a little look, see if anyone has a hand up. Tara Fox, you have a hand up. Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much. You are now unmuted, Tara Fox.
Oh, good.
So, firstly, this stone is meant to give you the power of eloquence. So if you could just say anything at all to me, just to see how eloquent you are before you kiss the stone.
Khan, let's sink some piss.
Right, excellent, excellent. So you're here with the mud crabs. It's a pleasure to have you. I mean, eloquent in your fascinatingly Australian way. How is Gladstone this time of year, by the way?
What? Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Sorry, how is Gladstone, your hometown, at this time of year?
It's delightfully temperate. Shit.
Oh, what a perfectly bland response. You didn't commit to anything, and I like that. Good, good. Well, I'd like you to kiss the Blarney Stone. Now, do you have anything in the room just very close, just grab whatever's close, that could represent a stone? Excellent. A tub of traditional Greek yogurt. Full of acidophilus. Or is it acidophilus? I've never known. All right. Now, I see you have a friend there with you. If you could get that friend... Thank you. Yes, lovely. I'll just see you, Jeremy. If you could get out of frame.
Okay, I'll leave. That's fine.
Thank you. And but hold on to the Greek yogurt, the Blarney Stone. All right. Now you have to kiss this upside down, obviously. Tara, how do you feel about bending? I mean, don't make this an OHS nightmare. Let's just, oh yeah, on your back, perfect. Excellent, excellent. Now you're full screen. All right, now no, don't make it too easy. All right, good. But maybe hang off the couch. Oh, hang off the couch. That's it. And move your camera. Oh, this is fun. No, the other side. Move your camera so we can see the front of the couch. I'm sorry, I've never done this. Except so it's like with live audience. Oh, you've got an idea here.
Like this.
All right, excellent. TV's on. All right, perfect. Hang backwards off the couch and kiss that Blarney. Avoid the dog. Cat, whatever. Can't see, it's a little blurry. Here we go.
The Blarney Stone's moving.
Hang. As it would in an earthquake, you've got to prepare for this sort of thing. All right, and kiss. Yeah! Oh, well done, Tara. You've kissed the stone. Please gather your senses. And now see how eloquent you have become. So if you could just say again anything you like into the camera and we'll get to the bottom of your eloquence.
Why, it's a fine, tastical day to catch mullet.
You have become so eloquent that you've made up a new word, fantastical. So, superb, congratulations. The Blarney Stone works. Everybody, give Tara and Jeremy a round of applause. Oh, just superb work. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much. I do know them, but they had no idea they were going to do that, as all the people have. Just I pick people I know because I don't want to make them feel awkward, but strangers feel awkward. But anyway, everyone's doing it very well. Let us continue the tour. Obviously, we've lost a bit of time now, but happily, there's nothing more to see in all of Ireland. So let's expedite the tour somewhat. Let's take a quick trip through a few other European countries. Hooray! Firstly, we'll stop in Denmark, home of Lego. Then we've got Sweden, home of adult Lego. Next, it's Finland, and I think we can all agree that this is the very best picture of the Northern Lights that I could download off the internet. Next, it's Norway. What's Norway got? Fjords? All right. Next, the Netherlands. We'll never remember having been there. Excellent. It's Belgium now, because it's where Smurfs come from, and it's a small country. Next, we've got Liechtenstein. This is their entire population, guys. Great that barbecue they put on. But isn't Carrie lovely? Next, it's Spain. No, that's more really Mexico than Spain. Spain! There we go. That's more realistic. Up next, it's Switzerland. Merle, you get to visit the Toblerone factory. Enjoy! Coming up next is Austria. That's not creepy. Austria, good stuff. And lastly, it's Germany. I use that one for Germany because, of course, Germany are welcoming to refugees, which is wonderful. And I can't think of any other significant thing that has happened in German history in the last century. Good stuff. And now, my friends, as we meant to originally, round! Welcome, my friends, to Rome. Home of Romans, Roman ruins, Vatican City, and the hottest priest in all the world. Whoa! Cop a look at Father Waterwaste here. Woo! Rethinking those nuns' vows now, Amira. Whoa! He's the nice one. But, ooh, the sultry one. Whoa! Somebody get me to confession. Ow! Talk about Father Waterwaste. Whoa! Not so much that one. Okay, all right. All right, my friends. Now, we start our tour of Rome here at the Pantheon. Pantheon is, of course, Greek for all gods, because the Romans, when they wanted to sound fancy, used Greek words. In fact, it's very easy to use another country's language when you've subjugated them. You don't at all feel like you're inferior to them at that point. It's a temple to all gods because the Romans were happy to agree that all gods were real. They just thought that theirs were the best. And if we turn around here, we see the Fontana del Pantheon. That's Italian for the Fountain of Pantheon. It's an ancient obelisk, actually, and I learned a few facts about it when I went to obelisk.org. This is a genuine website you can go to after the show, not now. It lists the history and interesting facts about every obelisk in all the world put together by obelisk fans. And I think it's so glorious, you know, not for them, the ephemeral fame of being a YouTube star or an Instagram influencer. Nope. They get online and work very hard at their passion for immense stone erections. Glorious stuff. Now, they have told me that this obelisk comes from ancient Egypt, although at the time it was, of course, just called Egypt. It comes from a temple dedicated to the worship of Isis. Isis was an Egyptian god. However, worshipping Isis these days has become a little iffy. So they chucked a crucifix on top, and now it's Christian. Great. Now we head up the laneways here, and we arrive at the Piazza Capranica. The Piazza Capranica used to be a stable where Roman knights, equitares, would house their horses. House them. Stable. Yes. This is also where the pizza capricciosa was invented. You see, Romans were finding that horses didn't wish to eat traditional margherita pizzas, but they knew that horses loved salt lick. So what did they do? They got salty salami, salty olives, salty anchovies, put them on a pizza, and made the pizza capricciosa that we and all horses love to eat today. Facts. And if we take a look here, oh my God, it's 38 degrees Celsius. I'm as hot as a priest. Woo! All right, guys. Maybe if you're there with somebody in your room, maybe just blow on them a little, physically blow on them just to cool everybody down. You don't want to do that? That's obviously perfectly fine. We head up the street here past another obelisk. This here is the Italian Parliament. And if we look, oh, God damn it! Bloody Regal tours again. How you doing, Chanel Claremont? Having a good tour? I see you being guided around by a hologramic representation of Julius Caesar. Nice one. Well, we just saw 9 countries in one day, huh? What do you mean we rushed it? I think we all agreed that Belgium, 9 minutes in Belgium was enough for anybody, yeah? Yeah, we definitely didn't rush that. All right, ride off in your platinum-covered Vespers. Enjoy yourself. Bloody Regal tours, guys. Whatever. Anyway, we head down the street here, and we arrive at the plaza. Oh, no, the piazza. I've forgotten. But it doesn't. Colonna, that's it, the Piazza Colonna. This here is Marcus Aurelius's column, built in 176 AD. Going all the way up the column is a frieze, and on that frieze it depicts Marcus Aurelius's wars against the barbarians. Winding all the way up to the top, and at the top, spoiler alert, he wins. I do apologise if I spoiled that for anyone, but it did happen 1,844 years ago. That's a lot of seasons ago, so you should have been up to date by now. Also, if we look in the corner of this square, this building here, it used to be the headquarters of the Italian Fascist Party. And this is the building at its most frightening. That's, of course, Mussolini on the front there. Yeah, it's looking pretty frightening, obviously. I mean, firstly, who would have thought that? I mean, who would have thought that he was a bad guy when you look at it? You can't really get it from that. But we do often forget that the Wizard of Oz ruled Italy for over a decade. And we head down these streets here, and we come at last to the beautiful Trevi Fountain. The Trevi Fountain. Home to lovers, oddly enough, stalking Mexicans for some reason. Home to blazoned garbage trucks, and of course the Saw Boutique, which is one of Rome's premier stiletto shoe shops. Their motto is, look good, get sore. Now, you would know the Trevi Fountain probably from the Lizzie McGuire movie, which made it famous. But you may also know it from the film Three Coins in a Fountain, in which it played Wet Fountain number 2. The Trevi Fountain is meant to be a wish-granting fountain. You can throw a coin in and make a wish, but I would advise against it. I threw a coin in and made a wish for a coin, and all I got back was not having a coin. But supposedly it gets $1.5 million a year thrown into it, and that money is put towards a supermarket for underprivileged Romans, as well as towards Silvio Berlusconi's sex zoo. This fountain was first built in 1689 by Pope Urban II. Pope Urban II is, of course, famous for his constant promotion of hip-hop and R&B. And as we look at... What's that, mud crabs? You want to go for a drink? Well, I suppose looking at all this water, it's been a little while since we had a drink. All right, guys, well, I know where to get a great drink here in Rome because, of course, Rome is home to the Cynar distillery. Cynar, Italy's most famous artichoke-based liqueur. The world's most delicious, probably. I haven't had any others. Cynar, more like yeah, am I right, guys? All right, let's have a drink. Woo! Hey, guys, I'm going to drink all the fountain. Yeah! Woo! Hey, guys, let's get a tattoo. These fellas look reputable. Something to represent their trip. I'm getting a choke on my scrotum. A choke on my scrot. A choke on my scrot. You don't have to do that one. I think can choke on the scrot. All right. Hey, guys. How did we end up playing dice in 1911 with Italian street urchins? Woo! What a night! Damn! Oh, geez, guys, you got completely out of control last night. But let's not see this as a setback. Let's just see this as an opportunity to see the insides of a real working Italian prison for quite a long time. But you really did get out of control, everybody. I mean, firstly, you broke into the Sistine Chapel just to see it. But then, of course, you know, the nuns and the senior citizens went up to the frescoes and started liquid papering out all the private parts on the famous frescoes. I mean, they're not that outrageous. Oh, and it was made redundant anyway when Ms. Cardamom came along. And when the mud crabs came along and drew over those bits of liquid paper with their own penises anyway. Unnecessarily turgidly, might I add. And then, of course, yes, Ms. Cardamom, you just cut off your own hunk and put it in your day pack, which is really more just art theft than anything else. Well, at least Dimitri got away, guys. He's safe. But the rest of us are going to be in this prison for a long time. They took our passports. They took our money. I don't really know what we're going to do. That said, when you think about it, $0 to $20 entry fee for an up to 20-year tour of Europe. You can't beat that value. Yeah. Okay, guys. Welcome to the back of this container truck. The Mitsubishi Fuso first entered the European market in 1986. All right, just don't worry about it. Look, I want to thank Ms. Cardamon for using her contacts in the Italian crime syndicates to get us out of prison into the back of this truck. Maybe everybody just take note of the left and right turns, count them up so we can know how to get back. Ms. Cardamon, do you know where they're taking us? Guys, great news. I know I said on this tour you'd be seeing Western Europe, but now for free, you're getting a whole additional Europe. That is Eastern Europe. Welcome, my friends, to Transdanista, sort of in Moldova, because it's a breakaway, semi-autonomous Moldovan Republic. Moldova doesn't like it, but they can't do anything. It's also sort of part of the USSR because they based themselves on the USSR. They're the last country in Europe, and indeed the world, to have a hammer and sickle on their flag. Transdanista. Indeed. Transdanista, your cheeky local coups and tax haven status have stolen our heart away. Transdanista, unrecognised by all other nations except for South Ossetia, Nagorno-Karabakh, and Abkhazia, themselves all unrecognised countries. Now, there's no Google Street View in Transdanista. The secret government does not allow it, but there are some 360-degree photos. So let's start our tour here in the capital, Tiraspol. This is the aviation monument in Tiraspol, lovely MiG-21 there for the fans of military hardware. And if we turn to our left, we see the monument to the failings of capitalism, that burning pile there. Just avoid that local who's had their head removed for thought crime. Now, the other thing about this image, which I found very interesting, this is genuine on Google, this part of the image can't be seen. It's blacked out for some reason. I wanted to know what was there. I wondered what they were being so secretive about. So I did a little searching. I panned in and I zoomed and I revealed, oh my God, it's Harold Holt in a nuclear submarine. He really was kidnapped by the Soviets. Transdanista. Anyway, let's head down the streets of Tiraspol now. There's a few pictures of the streets. Surprisingly empty. This is pre-COVID. And we arrive here at this amusement park, which isn't very amusing. In fact, it is a little bit Pripyat in Chernobyl. But why have we come to this Ferris wheel? Because the third car of the Ferris wheel, we've been left a little package. Now, be grateful to Spiro because he gave his left kidney for this. Thank you to him and the ice bath that kept him alive. Give him a pat on the back there, Lucy, although not too hard because the sutures haven't really healed yet. Inside that package is passports to get us back into Western Europe proper. So I'll hand these out now. I'll just see what we've got here. All right. Does anyone have blonde hair and a blonde moustache? You will be Charles. Excellent. Anyone got a beret and earrings? Good. You're Maria. Perfect. Oh, yes, Carrie. Yes, excellent. Superb. All right, good. I'll hand the rest of them out later, guys. Before that, I've got even more good news. A local group of legitimate businessmen, the Ketaminsky brothers, have agreed to get us safely back into Europe for free, and all we have to do is deliver a few packages for them. So, of course, the key to swallowing a condom filled with cocaine is to really open up big. What, guys, you don't want to do it? Come on, guys, we've got to get back into Europe. And I know you've all got big gullets. I saw you there in Edinburgh. Come on, guys. All right, thank you. I'm glad that you're going to finally go for it. Let's head over now to our transport. It is this glorious Aeroflot baggage flight, which gets us back to Paris. We just have to share it with 40,000 real housewives of Bosnia babushka dolls. Let's go back to Europe. Well, my friend, bonjour and bienvenue à Paris. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for taking those laxatives. Whilst we wait to deliver our packages, why not continue the tour? What do you say? Should we do a little more touring? Yeah. Well, let's have a look at the world's most famous, most popular tourist attraction, the Big Boy Tower, the Eiffel Tower. Yes. One of my favourite parts about the Eiffel Tower is, of course, this little fella here. He is bloody loving it, guys. Well, I feel a little sorry for him that Google didn't blur out his face, so I've done it for him. There we go. They're working perfectly, and bloody Regal Tours again. Oh, that's it. Chanel Kresmick told me that when they went to the Eiffel Tower, they're having an 8-course degustation on the top floor, hosted by Gerard Depardieu. He's done nothing since Green Card. All right, guys. Well, anyway, wait, hang on a sec. What the? My God, that's piss. Gerard Depardieu is pissing on us. Oh, and now Chanel's joined in. All right, guys, that's it. I can't stand it anymore. I've lost all my money. We've lost all our passports. We're finally back to Paris. We're covered in French piss. Guys, what do you say we steal the Regal Tours tour bus and have ourselves some fun, huh? What do you say, Miss Carterman? Can you hotwire a bus? I'll assume that you can for continuity's sake. Let's have some fun, everybody. Woo! All right, head down the road here. Get ahead of it all and down this way here. And oh no, the cops are on us. The gendarmerie. Quick, guys, I know where we can go. I know we can blend in and hide. Perfect. Into the Moulin Rouge. Excellent, guys. Now just blend into the dance. No, wait, the cops are still on us. Quick, everybody, out. Out we go. Down the street here. We'll go to the Louvre. There's so many people at the Louvre. We'll be fine. We'll head in, past that guy, down the quickly, while we're still here, Miss Carterman, grab the Mona Lisa. It's behind those people there. Grab it. Perfect. All right, run our way. And now we'll head here. There's a hall of statues. Everybody pretend to be a statue. Do it. Thank you so much for joining in, but it didn't help. The cops are still on us. All right, we'll head out. I know we've got. There's a back door. It heads out to the Seine. We'll hide in the riverbanks of the Seine. Oh, perfect. No, there's still people here. God damn it. All right, we'll head up here. A convenient French hot air balloon. Thank you, Montpellier brothers. Well, this is quite peaceful after all that. Just taking the sounds of birdsong and so on. Damn it, the cops are still on us. All right, guys, what's that, nuns? Sanctity of the church. Yes, we'll be safe in the church. All right, we'll head in there. The cops can't get us. We'll head down the aisle here. No, the police are still here. Do they hold nothing sacred? God damn it. All right, we'll head down the pathway here. What's that, nuns? An entrance to the catacombs. Perfect. We're heading into the catacombs and we'll hide down here. Just hide for 17 years or so until the heat dies off. Live like rat people, but then we can go back to the surface. All right, guys. Well, wait, hang on a second. Bloody Regal Tours are coming around the corner. Jesus. No, they're probably on some trip, to see the catacombs and Phantom of the Opera stuff with Marina Pride driving the bus. Wait, hang on a second. Nobody's driving that bus. No, wait. It's being driven by Dimitri. We're saved. Oh, thank you, Dimitri. What's that, Dimitri? No problem indeed. Oh, you want to take us back to where you come from, your hometown? We'll be safe there. Thank you, Dimitri. Thank you. All right, let's get moving. Well, guys, it's a pleasure to have you all here at the first anniversary of the original Parliament of Transnistria. And I'm so grateful to you all as your supreme leader for what we've managed to achieve over the last year. I want to thank each of you one by one. My little speech here. Firstly, I want to thank our arts ministers, the Carterman sisters. Indeed, Ms. Carterman. Ms. Carterman, your incredible art acquisitions have made our National Gallery the most famous National Gallery in all of Europe. And our sports ministers, thank you. So I can see you. Thank you so much. Well done. We got that Mona Lisa, by the way. Excellent suggestion there. Then, of course, there's our sports ministers, the Mud Crabs. Mud Crabs. Of course, you firmly established netball and Australian rules football as our national sports. Not only that, oh yes, Mud Crabs. crabs. Not only that, we did so well in an international competition against Australia at Australian rules football. We beat them, and now it's called Transdnistrian rules football. Yes, well done, guys. Not only that, of course, famously, the nuns, the sisters, you guys became the first. Oh, you, Amira. Normally it's two people. Amira, you became the first female pope, famously, and your first act as pope was to allow clergy to marry. Very progressive, very helpful move. And marry you did. Whoa! Well done. Obviously not just marry one, you married two of them. Very polyamorous and progressive for the Pope. Well done, Popey. Now our science minister, Dimitri, of course, married Chanel Creswick unexpectedly and is now on his honeymoon in a jam jar. And lastly, Merle and Beverly. Merle and Beverly, you've been wonderful. Thank you so much. Your embalmed bodies are visited every day by loving Transdnistrians because of the ultimate sacrifice you made during our revolution against the corrupt Soviet former government. Thank you for your sacrifice. I'm sorry you're dead, but at least you did get to see the Toblerone factory. Mwah. Thanks, everyone. So, guys, I'd like to sing the national anthem now. I'd love it if you'd all join in. Put your hands on your heart. And of course, stay seated, as is our national tradition, as we sing the Transdnistrian national anthem. Turn it up, Yanni. Oh, welcome to the lovely land of Transdniester. If you like footy and fine art, we're pleased to seat ya. Harold Holt's alive and well and keen to meet ya. Our arms are always open and we love to greet you. Oh, Transdniester, 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 Transdniester. If you enjoyed the show, tell your friends on social media. Transdniester. Thank you. Hey, wow, thank you so much, everybody. Oh. Guys, thank you so much. What fun that was. So much fun. It's totally weird doing a show and not hearing laughs. I hope I left enough pauses. There's a few laughs in this room. Not enough, but no, it's really great. I want to thank all of you who volunteered. Actually, you didn't volunteer. I forced it on you. But I want to thank all of you for doing it so well. You're all wonderful playing your roles. I also want to thank everybody who's in the room here with me. My producer, Carrie Hardie from Serious Comedy. I could not have done this without her. I couldn't have done it without Richard, who is, what are you, technical director now? Yeah, whatever you like. Thank you, Richard. Yanni, who not only helped me with audio tonight, but also helped me workshop the show way back when I was writing it. Please give them all a round of applause, guys. They're so wonderful. Also, Simon Palomares is here. He's doing the show next week, same time next week. What's the name of your show? Simon Palomares. It's his own name. How novel. Louise Vitani is here. She's doing a show. When's your show? On the 16th of May. That's her magnificent show about grammar called Kama Sutra. On the 14th of May, Yanni is doing his magnificent show, Australia Sells a Welcome, show about being immigration to Australia, amongst other things. We also have a live poetry show. My goodness, how sophisticated. Now, what's that? Alan Lovett. Okay, before Louise's show on the 16th. So poetry, then Kama Sutra. What a fancy literary night. It sounds fantastical to me. Isn't that what we said earlier? Anyway, I'm doing this show again on May the 28th. If you'd like to tell friends or just see it again, love you. So many of you came from all over the world. Thank you so much. Very quickly, if you enjoy...